Why did it have to be Daniel Bryan? What the world really wants to see is John Cena, once in a lifetime, versus The Rock. Yeah, Antonius can kiss my ass. Dan, you're fired.
Hey guys, welcome to a very special edition of Intelligent Wrestling Talk. I am Dan Jadoff.
And this is Anthony Feliciano, aka Cody V of Pro Wrestling World, and we're ready to give you the intensity, the integrity, and intelligence of SummerSlam and Monday Night Raw. Are we ready to kick things up, Dan?
Absolutely. It was pretty hot for the past couple of days in wrestling, but first I wanted to thank our very own Jade Lowe for that excellent impression of Vince McMahon.
Yes, and he kicked a lot of ass doing it. I didn't like that I would have to kiss his ass, but if that's what it takes to be here and keep talking about wrestling, then I will kiss his ass all day.
I don't know. It seems like you two seem to have a bit of a feud.
Well, you know, you gotta kiss some ass at some point.
I suppose you're right. Okay, let's move away from the ass-kissing to SummerSlam. And what we're going to do, we're going to be shifting back and forth between SummerSlam and Raw, talking about the main storylines that have happened, so we don't keep on going, like, from here to there or whatever. So let's start off with what's everybody's been talking about, this whole Daniel Bryan mess. First off, he had a pretty damn good match against Cena. A lot of back and forth stuff. I was kind of surprised that he got the clean victory on Cena. And in the chat, I know everybody seemed to be wondering what exactly Triple H's role was, because he did what he said, called it all down the middle, and lo and behold, here comes Randy Orton. And
you're looking in my hand, talking me.
Exactly, and we think it's all done, it's all over, he's just going to walk away. But boom, comes a pedigree, Bryan goes down, Orton comes in, and a very short title reign for Daniel Bryan as the new WWE Champion is Randy Orton. I gotta ask you, before we get into any further with this whole feud, I understand you were at a restaurant for this. How was the vibe there when this all happened?
Alright, well, let me tell you, everyone was marking the hell out as soon as Daniel Bryan won. Hell, we were all going, yes, 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 throughout the whole thing. We ordered all our drinks, we got charged for our refills unjustly. But let me tell you something, it was definitely worth the night and worth repeating over, especially for Daniel Bryan's victory. But as soon as Randy Orton came out, as soon as his music hit, all of us just stopped and went, no, no, no! And everything just fell apart. It was like a war zone. You had the room split in half between Daniel Bryan fans and some Randy Orton fans as well. Hey, you know, whatever. That's cool. And you know what? With the result of tonight's Raw and seeing how Daniel Bryan's storyline is being filled up, let me tell you something. I don't care what they're doing, because whatever it is, it's working. A lot of people, more than ever, are way behind Daniel Bryan now, and it's just badass to see all these results.
Mm-hmm. Completely agree with that, and we would see tonight what would happen with first we had Cena come out saying that he's going to be out for 4 to 6 months, and I gotta say that's elbow looked pretty gruesome.
Yeah, he put a handball inside his elbow.
Yeah, it's really what it looked like too, and the fact that they focused in on it was just like, oh, okay, let's move away from that.
Yeah, he should have touched it with his finger, you know, poked it.
Yeah, I think that would have made it a little more awkward than that. But after that, we would see him hand over to the Bryan crowd. Obviously, pro Bryan. Everyone's chanting yes. Then we see Stephanie come out saying Triple H, what he was doing was best for business. And then Bryan comes back, says he's not afraid to be fired, and then he'll give her a reason to be fired, whether it be him going after Triple H or Orton. And basically, she comes back and says, "You're not championship material." It's a little heated to the point where Bryan is kicked out of the building.
Yeah, and what's up with the audience? I mean, okay, they chanted everything else, but they didn't chant slut. What the hell happened?
This certainly isn't the 90s anymore.
No, right?
That's for sure.
I feel like the 90s is like the new 80s now.
Yeah, it really seems that way because it's just so far back. But anyway, getting back to what was going on for the night, a lot of superstars in the back decided to make some comments against Triple H. One being Dolph and the other being the Big Show. And they got the Shield for their troubles, and the Shield kind of took them out.
Yeah, that was surprising. And, a lot of people are a little pissed about the main event between, Wade Barrett and The Miz. That's not really main event material. This is where WWE lost its opportunity right here. Right here, they should have did what they did with Daniel Bryan a few weeks ago. They should have had the Shield fighting twice main event. First time against Ziggler. And just as they're all out and tired, the Big Show comes out and kicks his ass. Now, maybe I see why they didn't do that. Maybe it's because they needed the Shield to rest up a little bit so they could be bodyguards. Yeah. But, I mean, this is a totally lost opportunity right here. This would have been great to see them fight twice in a row. But, hey, you know what? They were great matches anyway to both times. Ziggler kicked ass. Big Show, of course, kicked ass. But I like seeing the Shield. And I'm kind of glad they won instead of being just defeated by one wrestler. So it was fair game to me.
Yeah, and then we would see later on, you spoke about the Shield for protecting Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H would be out there at the end of the show. You see all the wrestlers, by the entranceway. It gets a little dicey here because Triple H continues to say he tries to continue to stand by Daniel Bryan by also saying, doing this just for business, doing this for you, me, you. And then finally, after Randy Orton is already out, Bryan, they call Bryan to the ring, says, okay, you can come in. Shield just absolutely annihilate him. I mean, yes. It was pretty bad, and while all that happened, Triple H is sitting there just belittling him over and over and over, and then as soon as he gets in the ring, RKO, end of show.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, though. I did like seeing Daniel Bryan fight back against the Shield, and that was pretty cool. For a little bit, up until Roman Reigns gives him the spear. They really are, Daniel Bryan's the Jesus Christ of wrestling now. He's taking his 3 days of abuse over here.
Yeah, he's certainly taken a lot of hits from everybody.
Going through his crucifixion. This is it. He loses his title. He gets his ass kicked. Thrown out the building. Beat up by the Shield. RKO'd by Randy Orton. But I will say this, though. If Daniel Bryan gets his rematch, he gets a rematch clause, right? He's gonna get his rematch, and but who knows where they go with that?
I mean, I would imagine he would, but considering how anti Daniel Bryan everybody in that ring was.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm not sure how they would even go about that.
What do you think? Are we seeing the evolution, or are we seeing the corporation?
I think it's just a little bit of both, considering just the pairing between Triple H and Randy Orton. Just because they had that back in Evolution.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
And this whole feud just got really hot, and a lot of people were even talking about it in our chat tonight.
Oh yeah, we got over 500 freaking comments about it.
Yeah, and
everyone's talking. We're all chatting about it tonight live on Raw. It was just crazy. I've never seen it this. That's how you know that everyone's gotten really passionate about it because Cena lost his title. Now people are like, whoa, what could this mean? Now anything can happen.
Yeah, it's true, and we got all these powerful heels now. We were just talking about how we're not how is Daniel Bryan going to come back from this, considering I doubt they'll ever even make a match for him. It's really hard to tell where this is going to go. I mean, obviously, it's all in Orton's favor and Triple H's favor. Things are definitely not looking up for Bryan at all.
It's hard to predict it now. And now when it's hard to predict where everything is going, that's what gets fans more excited now. Because now, like I said, it's just like the past few months. Now anything can happen. Just like the way we've seen a split between Rhodes and Sandow, Ricardo Rodriguez now teaming up with RVD. I mean, this is random stuff happening. And now it's getting us all excited. And even some people have been saying today, wow, you know what? Now I'm definitely proud to be a WWE fan. This is the way it should be right now. Unpredictability.
Yeah, this is one thing that we've been missing for a while, is all these strong heels that we have again. I mean, this is one thing that made, in my opinion, the Attitude Era so great, was there were a lot of strong heels, and there was a lot of times where the face didn't win a lot. It favored a lot of the heels, and they seem to be bringing it back, considering that right now all of our champions are now heels.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
All right, moving on, we will focus on CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar. And
Brock Lesnar.
This match was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you had Brock Lesnar dominating early, then Punk kind of evened it out, kind of went back and forth for a little bit. Then we saw Heyman get involved, and Punk's obsession with trying to get Heyman kind of did him in and gave Brock the victory. Yeah,
and I don't know, this was well, obviously I'm going to have to be cliche and just say that, yes, this was a great match. This was like Bane fighting Batman for the first half of the match. Like, it was phenomenal. Like, Brock Lesnar is huge, and I've seen him in WrestleMania against Triple H, and he's just huge in real life. I mean, the TV doesn't do it justice. He's bigger than that. And what else? We were all at the restaurant. We're all standing up, cheering, going, yeah, whoa. The other half, we got half of the CM Punk, the other half on Lesnar. But to me, it didn't matter who won. I like both guys, but I did root for Punk mostly, though. I did want him to get the victory, but hey, you know what? Even if he loses, CM Punk is the kind of wrestler that can lose but still recover.
Yeah, but just because he can tell such a great story in the ring, and then I a lot of, like you said, you wanted to see him win, but he's one of those guys who can take a loss and still look good and look strong. And he's, I don't know. I lost my train of thought there.
There really is nothing more we could say. All we could say is that he is the best in the world. We could say that Brock Lesnar was certainly the beast in that match against CM Punk, and they both gave it their all. It did look like for a while that Lesnar was going to win anyway. I mean, from the beginning, and he did win at the end. And you know what? At least we got to see some Paul Heyman interaction in that match as well. So.
Yeah, and then that would lead into the next night of this feud, where we first saw Paul Heyman in the ring and saying that it's time to end this, that he says he'll take Punk back if he apologizes. And then later on, we would see CM Punk answer back. But first, before he answered back, he really went off on some guy who was just randomly booing him.
Well, it's not just some guy, Dan. It's apparently a fat guy.
Apparently the fat.
Boo. But you can hear him on TV too. Boo, boo. And if you hear him on TV, I don't even want to sit next to that guy. Probably gonna boo right next to your ear. And he was still booing even when they were fighting. He was fighting Curtis Axel when the unofficial match was like nearly at end. Like the guy was still booing.
Yeah, he certainly got his money's worth.
Oh, he got his money worth. Now he's going to tell all his friends. Yeah, it sort of reminds me of like one of those street gang kind of things. Like you get initiated, you either get beat up or verbally accosted, and it's like, all right, now you're the big shot of the place. Even Heyman had his little fun on him too.
Yeah, he even took a shot on him, and they'll probably end up making a shirt like, I was the fat guy that Paul Heyman shit on Raw.
Hey, watch, this guy's probably going to start working out, get ripped.
Yeah, he's going to come out and he's like, I was the guy 5 years ago.
I was the fat guy.
I was the fat guy, but you say that you motivated me, and I want to fight you. Some crap like that.
He's gonna get his match with CM Punk. Well, he's gonna go to Ring of Honor. He's gonna start when he does all the training in his local promotions, move up to Ring of Honor, and well, the rest is history.
Oh man, and yeah, you mentioned a bit for the Curtis and Punk, their little encounter. I gotta tell you, Curtis looked pretty good out there. He looks like he could hang with Punk.
Oh yeah, they definitely worked really well together, and it's no surprise. I mean, I so far I've enjoyed what I'm seeing of Curtis Axel. I mean, this is excluding the his run with Nexus and all that. Mm-hmm. I'm more or less talking about his match also with Big E Langston recently as well. Yep. And even today, and he's put on some pretty good performances, good shows. In fact, I heard that maybe this isn't true, but I heard that he was actually getting the babyface pop at certain house shows. Like he was getting a face reaction, but I don't know if that's true, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there are people that are definitely pulling for him now.
Yeah, a lot of those fans who don't just look at, if you're a good guy, we should cheer you, bad guy, we should boo you. They're looking solely based on just talent alone.
Just like the NXT audience, it was a pure wrestling crowd. They know if you're good, they know if you're bad. In terms of wrestling style or how good you are, your wrestling ability, not because of if you're a good guy or a bad guy, just like you said. Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Dan.
Now moving on, moving past that feud, we want to get in a little bit with Alberto Del Rio and his match. And his match with Christian, I thought it was a pretty good match. I thought having Del Rio get Lillian to announce his name in Spanish was a nice touch. I thought ADR looked very strong. Something that they don't really seem to be doing much with him, but I thought he looked really strong in this match. And he delivered an interesting promo afterwards saying that he is the Mexican hero, that there was no Mexican hero before him. Now he's it, apparently. So
he represents the Latino community. No, this was a cool match, and I thought it was a good send-off for Christian, at least. I mean, unless he's coming... I think this is his last match, wasn't it?
I don't know. I did see him as one of the wrestlers that was standing at the end of the show.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. All right. Well, never mind.
I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do with him, but it seems like they're pushing him out of the title picture because apparently Ricardo Rodriguez has a new guy that he's representing now, and that is Rob Van Dam. And
funny enough, right before he did that, I really thought that in an effort to piss off Alberto Del Rio, he would be teaming up with the Real American.
Yeah, I think that would be the ultimate story.
But that wouldn't make sense, obviously.
No.
That's not a very intelligent solution. But I think pairing up with RVD is a good idea, because let's face it, RVD's not really remembered for all his promos and the mic skills, and I think Ricardo Rodriguez teaming up with him might actually do some good. I'm expecting a lot of the weed jokes from fans, but hey, whatever, it's all good. What do you think? You think this will benefit RVD in the long run?
Oh yeah, but also just because of how popular Ricardo seems to be as a face, and just how good he is on the mic, and Rob Van Dam doesn't really do much talking. Yeah. It kind of makes sense to me.
So you would agree with me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome. And I guess that's a little bit of that's probably the best transition we ever had on this show. We're going to go in now to Damien Sandow versus Cody Rhodes. their match at SummerSlam. And we saw for the first time no more mustache for Mr. Rhodes. And
a lot of people booed in the restaurant. They were like, "Boo! Where's the mustache? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the mustache?"
I don't know. I think it makes more sense.
You never shave it for an ordinary citizen.
I think it made more sense with Cody.
Yeah.
On him as a heel rather than a face, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It is, and you know, it actually still gave him a pop anyway, and it still got people talking.
Yeah.
People still saying, "Oh, your mustache, Cody's mustache." I think this was my favorite match out of the night. A lot of people were, talking about Brock Lesnar versus Punk, Daniel Bryan versus Cena. No, this was my match of the night. I like to see. I liked seeing Sandow still display his strength and everything, but I felt that this was good to see Cody display more of his athleticism. The thing about, and this is the thing with his face turn, is that, when a wrestler turns face, that suddenly I start to remember their talent in the ring. Mm-hmm. As opposed to being like the heel type or just randomly fighting Sandow or whatever. And at least now in this match, we see it more choreographed. We see it excellent timing, and also the way he bounces off the ropes and everything just to knee or kick Sandow. It's really awesome to watch, and I'm very surprised no one was talking about this match.
Yeah, and there was also something else that caught my eye, maybe caught other people's eyes, that Cody seemed to take a bit of a page out of Samoa Joe's handbook by doing that muscle buster on Sandow. I don't know if you caught that or not. But he used that, and he would eventually take the match. And then we also see a following match the very next night, where it was another great match, and Cody ended up taking the victory again. How did you feel about having them wrestle back-to-back nights against each other?
It's a little weird because I feel like it ruins the magic of when they were first had their match. I think they should have just let them fight and then had Sandow cut a promo and just have. But you know what? Having watched this match today, though, I at least feel confident in that. I wouldn't have changed that at all. Then I think they still put on a great match, but I don't know. I just think that should have been like that one-time match. Let it all sink in. Granted, maybe not a lot of people watched the pay-per-view. Not a lot of kids probably watched it on Sunday, but I don't know. I would have probably not supported having a second match, but just have like a promo instead, like a storyline.
Yeah, I think there's another reason why they had this match is something that came to my head. Maybe this is their final match in the feud. Maybe this is where they kind of break apart and go feud with other people. Yeah,
that would be a good idea. Maybe this can give Cody Rhodes his world title push too. Although the RVD is, I guess, getting it. But I don't know. I think this would be a good time for Cody Rhodes to get in that world title picture.
Yep. And moving into, I guess, one of the final feuds from the past couple of nights, we saw Ring of Fire, a.k.a. Inferno match between Kane and Bray Wyatt. And I thought the match was okay. I didn't think Bray looked strong at all. We ended up seeing Harper and Rowan enter the ring by putting a little blanket on the fire, and they ended up taking him out, and that's how that match ended. And weirdly enough, they just carried him off, which kind of left everybody shaking their heads a little bit, like, what's going on? And then we would see, with Raw, there was no mention of Kane whatsoever. I mean, what really was the point here? It was just, hey, have fun to go filming your movie, and we're not going to say anything about you? I don't get it.
Nobody knows for sure, and what we know is that Bray Wyatt, the whole Wyatt family, is supposed to be a very mysterious bunch. But yeah, the SummerSlam match didn't... I mean, obviously it was a gimmick match. It wasn't meant to display... I didn't think it was going to be like this whole monstrosity of really showing the power of their wrestling moves. It just seemed like a gimmick match, and it seemed like the whole focus was just entirely on just the Wyatt family members trying to put out the fire.
Yeah.
Really, than anything else, because the cameras just kept panning everywhere. I mean, I like, and did you realize that the fire was really small compared to before? Like, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, that's it."
Yeah, it was very disappointing that the whole match itself was just so meh to me.
It should have it should have had Bray Wyatt just. I guess, like you said, show some, like, he looked kind of nerfed, if I can use a gaming term.
Yeah, he didn't look good. I mean, he looked like he needed help the entire time. I mean, and then we saw in his match on Raw where he actually did it by himself, but it was against R-Truth. But, no disrespect to him, but, he's not exactly high on WWE's priority list.
Who, R-Truth?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, why not? He does all these cool things like,
What's up?
What's up, and, and sing some lyrics that people try to decipher.
Yeah, that's,
Does he smoke cigarettes? I mean, he sounds like a smoker.
I don't know.
Got to get smoking cigarettes, man. What's up? What's up?
And lastly,
and no promo about Kane either.
Yeah, that's like I said. It was like that they kind of even forgot like anything happened. It's like, okay, this match was terrible. Let's not speak of it ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but lastly, I guess we had to mention this. It was a minor thing, but it seemed like they were repackaging Epico and Primo as these bullfighters, pretty much. Calling them Los Matadores. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Well, you know what? They're doing. Notice how the commercial just focuses on the ole ole ole, thing, and that's just gonna. Now that it's already been chanted maybe a couple of times in Raw for El Generico references. Now this is going to get people riled up to say ole 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 for Primo and Epico. How fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, but I mean they'll probably play this same promo or something like that for the next couple of weeks. I mean, I'm sure we're not going to see them for a little while, but hey, it is what it is, I guess.
It's interesting because I didn't think like they were just like bland guys. I don't know what they could do, and the worst thing they can do is give them one of those cultural gimmicks like bullfighting. That works out. That's the reason why not a lot of it's the reason why Alberto Del Rio doesn't get as much of a pop even as a face because I mean, let's face it, cultural gimmicks, they just never work out unless you're a heel. I mean, look at Sheamus. He's an Irish face, but it's not really working because nobody really cares about all that. They want to see something cool. Like maybe like a Stone Cold Steve Austin type Irishman. That would be cool. But but that has nothing to do with Sheamus. I don't know what I'm talking about. Take it away, Dan.
It's all right, man. Yeah, that about does it. Wanted to thank everybody in the
Oh, wait a second. We're forgetting about one thing.
What is that, Anthony?
Well, we're forgetting about the primetime players and how they kicked some ass today, too.
Oh, that's right.
They had their little face turn, by going up against the real Americans.
Yeah, and they actually looked pretty good.
They did look good, especially Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. And I love the way Cesaro kicked some ass, too. But they all worked really well together.
I'm just glad you got that name right.
Yeah, I know. Some people have been, politely correcting me about it, and I say politely loosely. Oh, man. But yeah, that was a surprise match for sure. What else happened? I don't know. I guess that's really all that does it then, right?
Yeah, and wanted to thank everybody tonight. We mentioned it earlier. Our Raw chat was absolutely on fire. We had, looking at it now, we are over 600, which is absolutely insane.
So people are still talking about it even after it ended.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how great WWE has been over the past couple of days. I mean, we didn't have as much early on with SummerSlam, but once the matches like Punk and Lesnar came on, everybody was into it, and it's stuff that I like to see. I love all the interaction and all the love that we've been getting over the past couple of days.
Hell yeah, and not to mention, I think this comes to show you, the Raw after pay-per-view always going to be really good now. But as mentioned before, it's all about the unpredictability, and I think that's what gets fans talking about it. No one knows exactly. Although the one guy in the chat actually called out some pretty good predictions today, like Fandango interrupting the Miz. But I don't know, man. I guess once we tune into Raw next week, we'll see what crazy stuff they do, and we'll see how Daniel Bryan reacts, because if he can be like that anti-company man the way Stone Cold Steve Austin was, then I think he's got one hell of a future ahead of him still.
Yeah, and certainly with the fan base that's now firmly behind him.
And if you're not behind Daniel Bryan, then I don't know. And I'm not trying to sound elitist. I'm just saying, like, it's like, I mean, everyone is behind Daniel Bryan. It seems impossible to not find a Daniel Bryan fan.
That is true. And with that being said, got a few things coming up in the future for IWT. We have our usual episode for the week that will be on Saturday of this week. And we have a new top 10 coming out for top 10 British wrestlers. And we also have one already of top 10 wrestlers of all time. So be sure to check all those out and like the video, comment, spark some conversation. We always love to see what you guys have to say. And yeah, that will pretty much do it.
Sounds good for me. I got work tomorrow morning.
I hear that. And with that being said, I'd like to remind you all that there is only one way to talk wrestling.
Intelligently.